Hi, I'm Laurel Snyder, the author of Orphan Island and My Jasper June, and I am here with 5 quick tips for young, aspiring writers. So tip number 1, and this is gonna sound really boring, but tip number 1 is that you have to make space in your brain. We live in a world where you're constantly hearing and reading and seeing and watching things, and you're getting emails and messages, and that's always gonna be true. If you don't take 10 minutes a day to lay on the floor in your room and stare at the ceiling, your brain will not get quiet enough to do its own thinking. So the first thing you have to do is take 10 minutes a day and lay on the floor and stare at the ceiling and let your mind go blank. Tip number 2, when you're done laying on the floor and staring at the ceiling, you should have a notebook sitting on your desk, and you get up and you write down 1 sentence about whatever was in your blank brain. It doesn't have to make sense, it doesn't have to be good, it just has to be something. If you write 1 sentence a day, every day for the rest of your life, you just are a writer. Okay, so the third tip is about how to revise your work. When you've written a page or a poem or something like that, take a highlighter and go through and highlight all the adjectives at the same time, right? You've made yourself a Mad Libs. Now you're gonna go through and you're gonna write a different adjective where the highlighted sections are, and see what that looks like. I promise you, it might not be better, it might be worse, but it will be different. And looking at the 2 different things you've written will tell you something about what you wanna write. Tip number 4 is something you do at bedtime. You've brushed your teeth, you've put on your pajamas, you get into your bed, you turn out the light, and now you have that weird moment where your brain feels kind of fuzzy. This is a good time to tell yourself a story. If you keep a little notebook by your bed, if you need to, you can hop up and scribble something down. But the best part of this is just that you're using the funny, what I think of as my bubble brain. You're using your fuzzy brain at bedtime to tell yourself a story that's gonna be a little wilder and a little bit more creative than the story you would tell yourself during the day. Tip number 5 is about how to create a character. The easiest way to create a character who's complex and interesting is to start with someone you actually know. But you don't want to create a character who's just like someone you actually know. So what I always do is I take a picture of someone I know and I look at it and I make a list of things about that person. And then I go and I flip them. Change their age, I might change their hair color. If they're somebody who really likes spicy food, I might make them somebody who hates spicy food. If they're someone who loves to dance, I might make them someone who hates to dance. You're gonna give them characteristics that are different, but you're using the framework of the real person. So underneath the sort of details is an actual living, breathing person. And when you think about that person, it will be easier to write a real story about them.